Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the empath. We're going to be tuning into something that I'm hearing your soul is screaming at you at this time. You may be getting this premonition, this sensation that you have to start preparing for something. But what if I told you you're going to have to do something more than just something that feels safe? I feel as though the environmental energies around you are going to be asking you to go out on a limb, take a little bit of a risk, get out of your comfort zone. And whatever it is that we're going to be talking about today, this isn't to cut you down or take you down a peg. This is something that you have been asking for, and it's actually going to help you remember who it is that you truly are. Before I go to cut, confirmation, don't panic. You are protected during this time. We're not supposed to have an easy life. Hashtag chosen one problems, hashtag empath problems. And if you're magnetized to these messages, it means that you want to learn. You want to learn how to conquer the density that is our day to day life in order to reintroduce ourselves to our light consciousness. So at the base over here, we have the card of power. Whatever this thing is that you are being asked to prepare for. Again, it's not to make you feel as though you're weak or you're doing something wrong. In a lot of ways, whatever you're going to be experiencing within the near future, this is going to be something that it's going to be rewarding and it's something you want to do. So at the top over here, ooh, we got the divine masculine. No, I don't want to do that. Wow, sassy with the card of water along with transmute. I feel like a lot of you guys have been doing such a tremendous amount of work healing your emotional state. And a lot of you guys are doing such a lovely job detaching from just people in general. This could be the divine masculine you would consider to be a twin flame or a soulmate, some other human being that you've had some dealings with in the past. But as this, it's like a sunset. Like, the card of power and the card of divine masculine, they do have a lot of similarities. And I will say underneath here, we do have the card of the healer. It's as though you've been so fixated. Is that a good word? It's like you've been so fixated on this divine masculine, whoever this person means to you, because you actually saw their shamanistic power and you saw their ability to heal. However, the way that you connect to masculine energy, and I don't mean men connecting to masculine energy, it is about empowerment, forward movement, and that willingness to take a risk, knowing that failure is an option. When we fail, it is a wonderful opportunity for us to learn. But we live in a society that shames us for not getting it right on the first try or maybe never eventually getting it. There's something about yourself that you have been forgotten. And Spirit just wants to talk to you today about how you can transmute whatever this fucking situation was that really messed with your emotions. You're becoming a brand new person. So let me grab some tarot cards. I'm going to grab the Into the Wild Unknown deck and let's go ahead and get shuffling. But, before I do so, we have the devil. And, devil is just sometimes that I just can't help it. I need to show you how I feel. I think a few of you have been so frustrated because there's something in the way that this masculine you've been trying to get through to them, whether if it's getting through to them in the back of your mind or waiting for the perfect opportunity in the 3D. If a few of you have been frustrated and annoyed that this masculine ghosted you, stopped speaking to you, or blocked you, it's because they know you're just going to call them out on their bullshit and they don't want to hear it. When it comes to spirituality and even human interaction, it's so important that we honor people's consent. Some people don't like being called out. And I have to put this back upon you because you're here. You are interested in learning and growing. Do you like it when people call you out? Some of you might say, yeah, I love it when I get called out. It really helps me understand a part of myself. But there are others of you that if you feel as though you were called out, and especially depending on who chose to call you out on something, that could be devastating. That could feel traumatizing. But I feel as though as you're learning how to really honor your emotions, you've been so fixated on this external person. I don't feel like this is you. I really feel like this is somebody you have detached from, somebody who's one-sided. They're kind of fake. It's sort of like you know how they behave on the outside and you understand how they behave on the outside. That's just the ego. And you saw them from the soul perspective, but they're not interested in seeing things from soul perspective. Whether if that is because they're so disconnected from source that they don't know that there's a problem, but others, you're not actually their medicine. So we're gonna be asking what the fuck do you think is going on? We'll also ask what the fuck could actually be going on. We'll also get some guidance on what you can release, what you can focus on, and what the potential final outcome could be. But at the base, before I go to cut, Son of Swords. This is a very flighty, it almost feels antagonistic when it comes to having brand new love, expressing love. I feel as though this could be sort of the final turning point for those of you being able to sort of walk away and stand in your own independence. Because I keep getting this call out culture mentality. I think a few of you have felt as though maybe you did something wrong in the past and you've just been trying to find the balance. It's like, okay, if I did something wrong, can I do something better? But you're never going to get that information from an external divine masculine. It's really important right now that you are so connected to your own inner sense of source because that's true justice. You know, the justice cats are here, and along with the 6 of Pentacles, what is right and proper in terms of you doling out justice? This actually came up in a reading quite recently. If you're the judge and there's someone who enters the court that is being prosecuted, if you know the person, in most cases, a judge needs to excuse themselves because of a conflict of interest, regardless of wherever it is that you've struggled with how these people, how this person has treated you, your guides are asking you to please take a step back from trying to educate this person. Like, they're not doing well, and it's not your job to heal them. Because if you're, again, resonating with these messages, you know deep down inside there's something within yourself that does need to be healed. You don't need to find it here. You can find it elsewhere. What the fuck do you think is going on? The Hanged Man hanging around. I really feel as though you're frustrated because nothing is happening. And this feels a couple of different ways. It's like you're waiting for this masculine to show up and see the light and maybe have some closure. This also could manifest as you know you're letting go of whoever this person is, but you still feel stuck. So it's like you're second guessing and worried that there's unfinished business that is your responsibility. But what the fuck is actually going on? 4 of Wands. Like, this is so biblical. I'm hearing there's a celebration feast being set before you. And I mean that more on this sort of like on an energetic level. You're gonna be you're gonna be asked to do something that feels a little risky. Like, and again, this isn't something that you don't want. Like, it's one thing to take a stupid risk for a stupid sake to get no results from it. And I feel like that's something that a few of you guys might have struggled with. However, this is the kind of risk where you get invited to a party and you meet somebody brand new. This is the risk of maybe it's worth applying for that job. Maybe I don't have all of the qualifications, but there's just something about it that I still would like to throw my energy out and give it a try. And I'm not saying that you're going to be guaranteed any kind of success, but it does look like there is going to be something worth celebrating. Can you tell me a little bit more about this 4 of Wands? Like, I feel like there's some kind of invitation because we did see the Son of Swords a little bit earlier. It's like this message is just going to come through. It feels a little bit shocking and it kind of comes out of nowhere. 4 of Pentacles. There's going to be this temptation to sort of hold back. It's like, maybe you should check out this class, but your lizard brain responds saying, no, I need to budget. Like, it's not in the cards for me right now. And on one hand, yeah, of course, it is important to make sure you're very mindful about what income you have and what, income versus outgoing money. But this is one of those things where, hey, if you took this class and you got certified and you could make 20% more at your job, wouldn't the initial financial risk be worth it in the grand scheme of things? It's going to be so important, even though you feel paused as though nothing is happening, that you are taking in the bigger picture. So we do have Mother of Swords, no, Wands. I've been doing this lately. There has been a very confusing energy around you guys. It's like you're confusing passion for thoughts, emotions for passion. Like, things have been just, it's sort of like if this was the energetic table, the table has been a big, huge fucking mess. So we do have the Mother of Wands along with 10 of Pentacles. Like, this is actually, whatever this is, this risk, this thing that on one hand you're going, oh dear God, what the fuck am I risking my life for? First of all, that's hyperbole, which I'm a huge fan of hyperbole, but it doesn't feel great when you struggle with any kind of anxiety. It's just something that other people will look at and you'd be like, I could never do that. I would never try to take that risk. But deep down inside, you're following your soul, you're following your calling. It's helping you enter into a sense of creativity, even magnetism. And this has a lot to do with your long-term abundance. Because remember, I was saying earlier, maybe going back to school feels like a huge risk right now. Maybe you have to take out a loan. Maybe you have to be a little bit dependent on a frustrating household situation for a little while. Like, but if it is good for you, well, then it is good for you. So what can you release about the situation? Got the card of the Magician, and I'm feeling this as almost a a psychotropic energy. Weird. It's as though you're so used to working with wishy-washy energies. If it's kind of like a past version of you decided to make a big, huge purchase, you actually went to the wrong people to get advice. Because this type of personality, this divine masculine, whoever this individual is, they actually couldn't give you good advice. If you went to this masculine for advice, they would just sort of tell you what benefited them. They weren't necessarily interested in what you wanted in the long term. You release the person. Actually, how do I phrase this? It's more like, even though you release the person, like maybe this person's completely out of your life, but they still run around your mind rent free. They're still helping to inform you on decisions. The way that I've sort of seen this energy is when, I'm divorced. I haven't been with my ex-husband in probably 8 years now, I wanna say, and it's taken me a long time to reprogram my mind on, uh, how I operated within the kitchen. My ex-husband, he was really lushy when it comes to what kinds of foods, and he was extremely indulgent, but on the other hand, he was diabetic, so I had these, like, weird workarounds when it came to dealing with, sugar, but, went over the top when it came to fat, and I don't know, I realize that's a more convoluted example, but even when it comes to money, how my ex-husband manages money, like, the guy's wealthy, he has a lot of fucking money, But I never appreciated the way that he created that wealth in the first place because he was extremely manipulative, pushy, non-empathetic, and in a lot of ways, on one hand, I'm sad that I don't have access to that money, but on the other hand, I'm happy that I have my dignity. And there's an ask for you to decide what's important to you because you need to put up a boundary to the people that you used to admire. Like, yeah, they got you to where it is that you are, whether if you liked it or not, and you can always learn a lesson from these individuals. But there's whatever this is that spirit is lining up for you, and I'm hearing it's being lined up for you, for your betterment. It's either you have to channel yourself and be your own magician, or you have to continue going down the same karmic cycle because you're basing your life on how other people taught you that you should be. What do you have over here? Yeah, you got the Nine of Cups along with the World. Who are you trying to keep happy? This person that you used to depend upon, like, they probably would tell you the words, I just want this for your happiness. But at the end of the day, everything always benefited them. You're being challenged at this time to take risks on things that you find fun, that you find in align you find to be within your own alignment, you know? Again, if you tried making this decision when you were still tied to this person, whether if it's tied to their opinions, tied to their money and what they think money should be, because this feels very material. Like, this person has no authority in your life anymore, and they would have held you back. They would have given you bad advice. And in some ways, this masculine convinced you to spend your money on other stuff, and you became broke. You know, I declared bankruptcy. He has, several properties, including like a mini mansion in the Oakland Hills. Like, there's this ask of, can you be where you are right now? And can you make your own decisions? You are allowed to fail because if you fail, trust that everything will come back to you in a very unique way. Like, I went to art school and I did it for 2 years and I always wanted to go to art school, but it wasn't karmically within my alignment that I ended up quitting. And several years later, I was able to find a way to make sure that those tuition fees didn't bog me down. The universe gave me some opportunities to, roll it into a bankruptcy. Not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. Where can you focus? 3 of Cups. You got new friendships on new friendships on the line. Interesting. Like, some sinks. It's the line with the little branches right here. I actually feel as though whatever this thing that you're being encouraged to jump into, like, it's gonna be opening up a new way of communicating. This actually feels communicative. When you step out of your comfort zone, you start talking to people from different lifestyles, different backgrounds. Maybe the way they communicate is very different from you. But even if you're with a soulmate and they speak a different language, and when I say speaking a different language, like, I'm a primary English speaker and I can talk to other people who primarily speak English, but it doesn't mean we're always communicating. They have a meaning associated to a word. I have a meaning associated to a word. And sometimes we forget we're not actually saying the same things. Like, anyone who's an immigrant can thoroughly appreciate this struggle. But when you start getting to know how different people act, react, communicate, speak to each other, it does open up your horizons and it's going to make you realize how limiting life was with whoever this person is. I just get this feeling like, before I look at the card below, like, you're gonna start falling in love with life again. Like, doesn't that feel good? Like, if you're still in the midst of your depression and you're still not entirely certain if there's any hope at the end of it all, that's okay. Like, support yourself with where you are right now. But if you are following your heart and following your integrity, you are working your way out of this self-infliction, this mental prison. We do have Ace of Pentacles. I've been seeing a lot of this Ace of Pentacle energy for the collective lately. The Lovers. Um, And this doesn't have to be literally a lover situation. These are friends. These are soulmates, people that they're going to help support whatever this is. And when I say support, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to drop and give you money. Like that could be the case, but it's more that you tell them, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." And they hear you out and said, "Wow, that sounds absolutely fantastic for you. Good luck with that." Sometimes those small, simple acts of support are what we need, especially if we are still trying to work through depression and anxiety, trying to reinvent our lives to create a sense of normal again. What do we have at the top? We got the Father of Pentacles. Like, we got a Ten of Pentacles and a Father of Pentacles. Look, like your life is poised for change. And I keep hearing the word integrity. How do you want to make money? How do you want to make an impact on the world? You've seen the worst possible case scenario, and maybe you feel bad that you fed into it, but that's the old version of you. Learning to forgive yourself is going to be so essential during this time because you can't keep harboring onto old feelings. We do have the card of the Empress. There's something about just watching and being. It is important to make sure that we are making active steps towards our greatest and highest good, but in some ways, you've been overly, energetic. While we do have this Mother of Wands, and that can be like, Okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's bring everyone together, let's do the thing, blah, blah." And there are some people out there, oh my god, they thrive off of this energy. Me personally, it can be very exhausting. It's like, "Oh my god, I'm just sitting this." "Yeah, yeah, you're so exciting, cool." That's because you're still working out a lot of imbalances from within. But this is about trusting that if you are taking care of yourself, it means that you have to rest. It means that you have to get to know yourself, get to know your shadow side, fall in love with your shadow self. This divine masculine has no connection to their shadow self. They're completely afraid of who it is that they are. They're intimidated by your power, even if you did once consider them to be a healer. As you are able to move forward, recognizing it is important to prepare for new things in your life, but recognizing that sometimes you do have to take small risks that are in alignment with your heart, trusting that the divine is protecting you as you move forward, and remembering who it is that you truly are. How are you going to feel at the end of all of this? Don't be discouraged with a Five of Wands. It's like, like you're just going to see something for what it is with this masculine. And this is lighthearted. Just recognizing, oh, that was bullshit. There's this lovely connection between your mind and your body that's going to start harmonizing. And once you realize your regulation helps shed light on the dysregulation of other people around you, this whole situation is going to help you feel so confident moving forward. So let's get one final message. Ooh, I got the metaphysical deck here. We do have stability at the base before I go to shuffle, and this is the Emperor in this particular deck. You are entering into a sense of stability. And when you have stability, you can take risks and you can have fun with it. And they're your own risks. You're not risking anybody else's money. You're not risking anybody else's life because hyperbole is still a thing within here. We can be friends. But this is about you trusting yourself. Nobody else needs to be involved with this. Like, keep talking to people like as you feel called. You got some soulmates that will cheer you on. And I feel like even with the father, here, the father of protection over here, you do have someone around you that will help you stay sober in your decision making. It's okay if people question you, as long as, because I really felt this as a mother of swords. It's okay that people question you just to make sure that you're thinking this through. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know what is right for you. And you're going to remember a piece of yourself. What part are they going to remember? Ah, the silent retreat. I love this. Take some time, be in the silence, get to know your heartbeat, get to know your body. Use this time, take care of your psyche, to take care of your soul. Because when this opportunity shows up, your inner calmness will inform you in ways that no other human being will ever be able to support you. You got this. Just take some time for yourself. I'm just saying, wow. Well, whoever it is that you are, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you found this insightful, please make sure to drop a comment, toss me a like. I always enjoy hearing how you guys act and react to these particular readings. Join us on Patreon if you would like to have some Reiki meditative support to help you enter into create a habit of mindfulness. Subscribe if you'd like some more help along the way. Otherwise, when I see you guys at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.